Swanky always says that the measure of success is when people dress like you on Halloween.
Yep. You know how privileged it is that you get to put a song out and one person listen to it.
True freedom comes with structure. By studying what has been, you will not do what has been. You'll mash it up in a way that can be new.
Like, they just move different there, bro. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how do y'all dance like this? It's just different.
Last year I dropped the album, bro. I didn't promote it. Nobody heard it. You throw a voice in 11 Labs, which is another program that can change your voice. Like, I can sound like you, and you can sound like him.
Yeah. Good people who with you.
One thing every successful artist has is a strong artist brand. For some, I feel like brand can be a very theoretical term. So on today's episode, we got Jidenna and Swanky, who break down every single element that's gone into launching their own new brand, an artist-producer duo called the Bashmen. From their visual identity to the production of the music to the songwriting elements, we cover it all. And what's great about these guys is they both have a proven track record of success. I mean, Jidenna is a globally recognized artist brand with hundreds of millions of streams, tours under his belt, and an engaged fan base of his own. And Swanky, even though he's a little bit more behind the scenes, I've firsthand seen him help build an artist with no following, no streams, no tours, to hundreds of thousands of followers, to millions of streams, to sold out shows. These dudes are the real deal. Get out your notepad because these guys give game you can apply immediately to your own career, whether you're just getting started in music or whether you've been doing this for years and just want to strengthen your existing brand. And with no further ado, Henry, cue the intro music.
Was that before or after your AAU career?
That was in the middle of that.
Simultaneously.
You know? I went straight from the gym to this talent show performance dressed up as a blues brother.
Rehearsal.
That's awesome.
But this isn't about me. This is about the Bashmen on the podcast. We got Jidenna and Swanky in the building.
Let's go.
Bro, I was so happy when Swanky hit me up and he's like, yo, I got this new thing going on. Because obviously I'm super familiar with you and your work with Kennedy Ryan, One More Time podcast, alumni. On a fucking run right now. We'll get to that later. But but no, so when you hit me up about this new, kind of project that you've been working on with Jidenna, I was like, and it's with Jidenna? I was like, you could have just told me you were doing something. I would have already been like, interested and been like, all right, yeah, let's try and make something happen. But yeah, when you're like, Jidenna's part of it and he's gonna be in town next week. I was like, let's fucking go. So appreciate y'all coming on, man. Appreciate y'all coming on, seriously.
Man,
so
thanks for having us.
Even though both of y'all have been doing music, for a while, right? I do think that the storyline I'd like to just, kind of share with our audience is really one of like the origin story. Like you guys are pretty much starting with the Bashmen in particular from scratch. Like you're building something organically. It's new, it's fresh. You didn't just do a collab project between Swanky and Jidenna. So it's like a very much like intentionally curated brand. So I just want to like dive into all the details so that any artist out there who's earlier on in their career or once again wants to start something new, I want to get some like game from you guys as far as like the conversations you had amongst each other, the decisions that you had to make as far as like how you were going to bring this to life, right? So let's just start with like, how did this, like the origin story between Jidenna and Swanky, right? How did y'all meet? Like why did you decide to go on this journey together?
Yeah, so the way we met is that I made a beat a long time ago in high school in my friend's living room. And my friend who was an engineer played the beat for him and they ended up sampling the song and that was actually my first placement called Susu.
Say his name.
Wow.
That's my dog Zane. My dog Zane.
Shout out Zane.
He would hate you.
That's my guy.
My friend is crazy.
That's my guy.
That's love.
Yeah,
That's why you guys are such a good team. Like Jidenna's making
He got
sure.
my back. Yeah.
I'm in the Bashmen with my friend over there. Okay.
Yeah, and so that's how we met. That's essentially how we met. That's my first placement ever, actually.
Wow.
Which is really crazy.
Super full circle
Yeah,
for
I
you
know.
then, obviously.
I know.
But so then like from first placement, your beat getting sampled with the Jidenna record to then being like, hey, we're going to, Dude, because creating an artist brand with someone, I mean, that's like doing a podcast with someone. And Jesus Christ,
You better be sure.
we get it, and I'm still not sold. But no, I mean, it's a huge leap of faith that you're taking
For sure.
together, right? Like reputations are on the line, like creative decisions are gonna. You're gonna probably get into it over like, hey, it should sound like this, it should look like that. So like, what did
You're
that
giving
look
me an
like?
anxiety attack right now. I don't know if I want to do this with you. I've been meaning to say it on the car ride over.
This is actually the moment that we figured it
Thank
out.
Well, rest in peace to the Bashmen.
Jeez, that was nice.
They had a great
We had a good run.
We had a good
single
run.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, I think we thought that it would be fun to not just be, just Swanky and Jidenna. We had some blueprints like Silk Sonic. I think, and there's a lot of like artist producer combinations that are happening with K Tronada and Amine, and I think we liked that. We liked seeing that. It used to be like that in old school hip hop, and then they would create like a little duo name just for that project. So we said, why don't we do one of those?
Yeah.
And I think we used Claude or ChatGPT to try to figure out the name. But I actually think we got it. I realized when we were using FYI, which is Will I Am's platform, and which is great if you haven't checked it out. And we're just tossing out ideas. Somewhere in that, we realized, what if we just take the word Bashmen, which is like the bomb party, Jamaican party. All Caribbeans know what a Bashmen is. And a lot of times it's in the basement. It's sweaty, especially growing up in New York or the East Coast.
Right.
And we took the T off it. And we were like, that's it.
That's cool.
The Bashmen.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro.
I got chills.
Me too. The way he just told that, just the smallest story was epic. So yeah, obviously we'll get into AI because he's already mentioned ChatGPT in the
Came up
first
quick.
in the first 2 minutes.
It's not going to stop. It's
No,
not gonna
I know.
stop.
I love it. I can tell. Okay. So you come up with this name, and then like, how do you then start to work on, did the music come next? Because we've got the name. We know we want to do this thing together, right? As a collab, brand and project. What happened next? Like, what piece of it fell into place?
So before we even came up with a name, we went to Ghana together.
Okay.
So I was part of this program called Birthright Africa, where you send people of African descent for the first time to Africa to experience it for the first time. And he was actually one of the people on the trip. And
That's so small world. So you had no idea.
Yeah. And
the guy you had sent the beat to, and it sampled it.
Yeah.
And he was on this.
The irony is, I think we, like, while we were in Ghana was an anniversary of 85 to Africa.
Yes.
Which was even more full circle.
Wow. Yeah.
And so,
That's sick.
This was meant to be.
yeah. And so we were just like talking and nerding out about like all the coolest things and like music and
The way you're underselling me is crazy right now.
Oh shit!
He
Say
said,
more.
He said, what did you say? He was on the trip.
By the way, I tend to undersell, by
I'm
the way.
hosting
I
the
tend
trip.
to undersell.
I'm on the board of Birthright Africa.
Yes.
This is what I do.
and I
he was on the trip. It's crazy.
He made it seem like he had like just gotten accepted.
Yeah.
This is me, guys. I'm
And
sorry.
he applied, and I was like, he's going. I told the board he's going.
The
That's how it
reason you were
happened.
there.
That's crazy.
Holy shit!
It's true.
He's like the king of
I do that.
Yeah,
I do that. I know
under
that.
promise, over deliver. That's him.
Yeah.
He's the mascot for it.
Respect.
Yeah.
But we really built out there. We built for that 10 days in Ghana.
For
Came
sure.
back, did a bunch of music.
Did you do any music there?
No, I don't think so. We
Okay,
did it all
so
when
just
we came back.
straight like getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living life.
Living life.
Living life,
Okay.
touching the soil.
Yeah.
We came back, we did a gang of music. Initially from my solo LP.
Yeah.
But we decided to take a bundle of those and do like the easiest listening, the least serious, like not meaningless, but more like, the carefree side
A
of
good
life.
time.
A good time. And we took those and we're like, let's just put an EP out because this will probably be easy. And of course, it took a year. These songs are almost done. All right, we'll get it out in 365 days.
Yeah.
But so even those like small group of songs,
Yeah.
like was the Bashmen and the duo in mind at that point, or was it
No.
still? It was
No.
just. We like these songs. We made them together.
Yes.
They're not going to make your LP.
Yes.
we want to do something with them together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So I'm still missing the
The moment.
let's create this whole fucking thing.
I'll
because,
tell you what
know?
it is. You ready for more AI stories?
Oh, yes, we want them,
Oh,
bro.
I know. You
Some
were
people
just
might not want them,
begging for
but we
it.
want them.
It's cool. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because that's what everybody said about social media, and now look at us.
Exactly.
It's
Facebook's
controlling
never
your
gonna be a
whole
thing.
life.
People said the internet was going to be a fad.
Do you even remember
Right.
when Facebook had the poke option?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
I remember-
How weird
oh
and
my
creepy
gosh.
is that? Who
That was
pokes?
I poked girls. I don't know about it.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Jeez.
Pause.
What, am I the only one that's gonna? Am I the only real
Creep
one on this
over
podcast
here.
right
Creep alert.
Oh my
Jesus.
To say I poked girls out loud
now? On
is-
Facebook.
but it's a crazy statement.
Whatever. I'm keeping it real.
On Facebook.
He's being honest.
I get it.
Thank you.
Jeez. All right. Well, I didn't poke anybody.
I didn't do that at
because
all.
I just don't poke anybody in real life. But point being is like, a few pokes and a few years later, everybody's got the algorithm is making us do things that we don't even want to do with our daily life. When we grew up, that was not what an artist was, and now it is what it is, and we have to adjust. For us, we started the year like, all right, well, what are we gonna look like? We didn't have a name or anything, and so I hopped on Midjourney, and for some reason I don't even know. I was like, I got an idea. I'm gonna prompt it. It's Scottish Rasta. Like, what would a Scottish Rasta look like?
Whoa.
And so I just prompted Scottish Rasta, a gang of Scottish Rastas.
And Midjourney is the AI image generator,
Yes.
right? For
Yes.
those that don't know.
Yes.
And so I
Thanks,
thank
Henry.
you for that.
Thanks, Henry.
For all the
I'll translate.
AI haters out there. So I prompted that, and then it was a bunch of men with dreadlocks and had leather jackets and kilts. And it was really cool looking. So we started building the way you build a prompt out. I'm a prompt engineer now, and so if anybody's looking for a couple prompt engineers, you're hired
We are
on
your
LinkedIn.
guys.
You can hire the Bashmen for prompt engineering too.
And so we started building out some prompts and getting a little bit more granular with it.
Yeah.
And fine tuning what it looked like, adding the black ties and whatnot. And after a while, we were like, yo, that joke is not even funny anymore. It looks kind of cool. And that, to me, is always a sign of a style that's going to cut through and that's going to work. If it's absurd but also cool, it's really going to work.
For sure.
You look at the most signature artists of our era from now all the way back for the last 100 years, it's always been a little bit absurd. And you don't look at certain people as absurd, but Tupac was walking around shirtless and he had a nose ring and a bandana tied around a bald head. Now, that's normal. But in that era of hip hop, you didn't really see that. Madonna had lingerie on at a time that women didn't feel the freedom to just be out on stage like that. Prince was a short guy with platforms, and his butt cheeks out like Tyson in the fight. You know what I mean? And now Tyler, the Creator, with his hats and, recently with his hair and that kind of, it's like
Like a triangle type of thing.
yeah, and some people are saying it's is either Namibian or Zambian or somewhere in southern Africa, I think, where they shape their hair like that traditionally. So every time it's absurd and cool, you got something. And so that was the beginning of the Bashmen aesthetic.
But you removed the kilts.
No,
they wear
I
them.
rock it. I had one on yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, but I knew I was going to be
fire.
sitting in this seat.
Okay, fair.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that's
It's not a great view.
That's not.
It's not the best view.
A good up kilt on Jidenna, bro.
Could go viral.
Fucking upskirt. Let's get an up kilt, bro.
Up kilt.
Wow.
Oh my God. No, yeah, you definitely wear the kilts. I mean, that's a thing.
Love it.
Yeah, we've talked about this more recently than I think we had talked about it on the podcast for the last 3 years that we've been around, is that visual identity part. It's something that I don't love that it's as important as it is. Just like some people don't love that content creation and how you do that is as important as it is. But how you look and the unique style and aesthetic and the visual brand identity is just so fucking critical. Y'all are you're showing up in uniform. Dave Blunt's giant,
Velour tracksuit.
large man tracksuits. He's got the 2 styrofoam cups with the velour tracksuit. Nassan has his cardigan sweater.
Exactly.
He's got the star
Yep.
little sticker on or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always in uniform. And it's a
It
thing.
cuts through.
It's
Yeah.
there's like it works.
And it builds community, and that's what's really cool about it. Because we did a show last night. We were DJing, and we saw people pull up in leather jackets and pull
fire.
up and they were looking like us, like the Bashmen. And so like that's the coolest part. I think is like you're really building community, and you're really like with a group of people experiencing something together.
Yeah.
Swanky always says that the measure of success is for us and for any artist is when people dress like you on Halloween.
Yep.
Was it you that I just read that from? Because I was about to comment that literally, and I was like, I saw somewhere recently that that's how you know that a visual brand identity is strong.
Yeah.
Is if you can dress like that person for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Post Malone talked about how the thousands and millions of people who like dressed up as Post Malone, right? And there was like Baby Malones and whatever, all these different like renditions of
Baby
Post
Malone.
Malone. But same thing, yeah, like, you know, Baby Bashmen, you know?
I think about when we went to Rolling Loud earlier this year, and Friday was Nicki Minaj headlining day. How many people were wearing pink, dude? Like,
Yeah.
tens of thousands of people just had pink on, just repping that. That's like a more general example, but it was still very powerful to see.
It is.
Yeah.
You pick a color, you pick a texture, you pick a
Yes.
silhouette, and you just own it. You know, just like certain celebrities own holidays. Just pick something and put your flag on it.
What's y'all's holiday?
What would you think?
I think St. Patrick's Day.
Wow, is that what you're getting from all the black that we're wearing?
Looks more like a
the
funeral.
Kilts. The kilts, but that's Scottish.
Right. I didn't.
I have Scottish and Irish ancestors, and that's the other thing. Interestingly, like this is our fellow Jamaican right here, and Jamaicans have a lot of a whole history with Irish and Scotland. Yeah, so it all worked out.
It did. I agree.
Damn. So when it came to the music, then once we figured out that like that batch of songs that weren't gonna make his LP, they were then gonna be actually for the Bashmen. Like, how did the conversations around like what are we doing sonically, right? Like, what did those look like? Because I think that's another place where there's a huge opportunity for artists to really craft a unique sound that's distinguishable, right? Or I can be like, hey, that sounds like the Bashmen. That sounds like Tyler, the Creator. That sounds like whoever. And I think it's really important early on in your career too, right? You can evolve, you can grow, you can shift genres, you can do different things down the line. But I do think like early on, if you go back to any successful artist, you can really pinpoint like what they were doing with those early projects where they were building that like super strong core fan base. So what did those conversations look like? Talk about like how y'all were thinking about it so that maybe some of our community can apply that to their own, you know, artistry as they're starting out.
Yeah, I think we have a unique through line is the fact that we're both first generation Americans. And so that experience is really interesting because you kind of grow up American, but you also grow up in the place that you're
I told you that was
from.
Sorry, I told you there was a risk.
Well, hopefully you can hear best out of your right ear.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
I'm gorgeous.
You're handsome, gorgeous.
Bitch, I'm handsome.
There it goes.
Come
There
on,
it goes.
man.
But what I was saying is I think there's a really unique through line between both of us is that we're both first generation Americans. And what's really interesting about that experience is that you feel like you grow up in these two different worlds where like wherever your parents are from, you're part of that culture, but in America you have a specific culture. It's really interesting. And what we were inspired by is that idea of blending these different cultures together. So when we decided to make a house project, I was like, what is the coolest thing a house? And we were talking about that as well. And the one thing that was so relatable to at least the dance hall aspect of it because I'm Jamaican.
Yep.
Was Chicago house. Because those bass lines are so deep.
Heavy.
And like
Kicks.
hard. It's like dum, dum, dum,
Thick
dum.
ass bass line.
And it's like, I like this. Because I'm from New York, but I don't want to say on camera, but I don't really like New York.
chill.
Ooh, shots fired.
I prefer like Chicago and Detroit because it has that bass heavy stuff.
Sure.
And so
I can already tell he's going to ask us to edit that out, bro.
No, we're clipping that. What do you mean?
Nah, he's leaving it.
Nah, I don't care.
Stand on it, bro.
I like Chicago and
11
Detroit
toes
house
down, man.
more than New York house. I'm
There
sorry.
we go.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
fair enough.
But and so when we were finding those through lines, that's how we kind of create that sound where we were trying to take things from Afro and dance hall and house and put it together and just see what could come out of it.
do you listen to music together to then get inspired, or like How does that work? I'm always curious. Like, I know some people don't like to listen to anything, and like, because I don't want to be influenced by other shit. But then others,
Yeah, we'll share songs.
Yeah.
We'll share songs. It's just regions. I think if you mash up more than 3 things, it gets confusing. But if you take 2 to 3 genres and mash them up, it usually works. So that Afro, dancehall, and house, and then you get a little bit more granular by sharing stuff, because he went to Chicago and did the research, you know, and I had lived in different parts of Africa. Then as a board member and a host
as
of
a board
Birthright
member,
Africa,
Yes.
I took him to Ghana for the first time.
sure.
And so we got the Afro experience, and then the dancehall was, you know, we both grew up in Caribbean neighborhoods. Hip hop, obviously, we're in the hip hop generation, so that's just a through line of a lot of music. You know, I will say with the hip hop, we started listening to late '80s, early '90s hip hop to get flows from there. Like, I'm not gonna say no words, but when it's like duh duh, I'm a duh duh duh, a duh 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 like that, and that sounds really cheesy. But when you put like a Nigerian accent to it, chairman, make you go sit down. I know you they sweet boy deep down. You know,
It hits.
it sounds way cooler.
it
like
just
way
got
cooler.
so cool.
It's way cooler.
Right?
In a matter of seconds.
So that's what fusion is. Like, we'll take a flow from one genre and then we'll change the tone. And then Swanky will take a house bass line, but then it's kind of dance hall all at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know you're like, you're a nerd about this shit,
I'm a
bro.
nerd,
You're like,
yes.
He's ready for
just,
it.
You're ready.
I love this.
So when you mentioned like you went to Chicago to do research,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone even understands. Like, what does that actually mean, and what did you learn from your time spent there?
Yeah. Well, first off, I don't know if you guys ever been to Chicago.
It's literally the one major
The
city
food
I've
is
never.
amazing.
Really?
I just want to start there. The food
This
is
is true.
It's amazing.
I just know that there's a giant bean.
I've heard about the bean.
Yeah.
I've heard
There
about
is a giant bean. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think what it's for me, if I'm making anything,
yeah.
it's really important to study. I think if you don't know what's happened before, you're not going to do a job of making what's happening after. Right? It's just not going to be a thing. And so it was really important for me to be like, okay, if we're going to do this, let me go to the essence of of the house that I love, and go to these parties and go next to these DJs and just listen. Like, they just move different there, bro. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how do y'all dance like this? Like, it's just different. And it's like, just experiencing that, you go back into the studio like, okay, if they move that way, then that kick has to be on there, and that snare has to be on there, and that hi-hat has to be on there. And then you start getting nerdy, and you're like, oh, now I can see the parallels with dancehall and Afro and these are things of that nature. So I had to go there to experience it, because I wanted to really know what it felt like, be there and actually experience it, so I can make a really good version of it.
Do you think more people need to be studying
Yes.
than are today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, yes.
Okay.
All right, we
Yeah.
go crazier?
There it goes.
I think the playing devil's advocate, an argument I've heard is that people don't want, once again, like, they want to create something new. So the argument I've heard, and maybe you can articulate this better than I, but like, I don't know who's said it on the pod, but someone has said this, where it's like, the reason why maybe this younger generation doesn't study as much, right, of kind of what's come before them, is because they want to kind of feel free from the, I guess, restraints of like knowing what's happened before, so that it could like constrict their creativity. I don't know.
That's cute and very American to say. Yeah. That is not how it works.
No.
Okay. You don't, like, true freedom comes with structure. By studying what has been, you will not do what has been. You'll mash it up in a way that can be new. I think that people think they're very different, but they're not. I think my favorite artists that do things that are new, like Tizo Touchdown, for example, his fusions are new because he's very well studied. He knows exactly what he's. Tyler, the Creator, very well studied.
Yeah.
So I'm a nerd. I'm a student. I do think there's something to be said by not knowing, like, your ignorance can be one of your greatest gifts because you didn't know you were doing it wrong. So I'm not like a purist like that. I grew up chopping up samples to make beats. You know, I didn't learn guitar. I learned everything after I sampled, and so you teach yourself as you go. But I don't think like entering into anything like there's a basketball hoop outside, right? If I didn't know how to play basketball and you're like, there's this game called basketball and I didn't study basketball, I'll be looking like a caveman trying to figure out how to get the ball on the hoop. I think I'll be a lot better if I study tape, if I study what people today from Anthony Edwards back to Jordan, back to Chamberlain, what they did. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but I do think ignorance can be a gift as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, man. Like, just so many people have said that, but I think if you talk to all of the people who are operating at the highest level, if they, that's it. Yeah. You're talking to people, no offense, these people that have this opinion, you're talking to other people who, in my mind, like, yeah, they might have had like a viral moment or something, but like I'm talking about career artists. I'm talking about the Tylers, the Billies,
that's what it is.
Freaking the best of the best, y'all. Like, they're not gonna sit here on an interview and
say Billie Eilish, like, yeah, now I don't listen to nobody.
I don't listen to nobody. I just listen to myself.
You just sing like that, Billy? That's crazy. I don't know. It's weird.
That's wild. Okay, so let's talk about kind of the content side of the house, because I feel like, I mean, you in particular have been, witness to Kennedy, who, like I said, has been on the podcast. She's been crushing the content game.
For sure.
Have you been picking up like things from? Are you a part of that, or are you learning from her? You know what I mean? Like, what role do you play in like the content world, and like, I guess, what have you learned about what makes successful content for music?
Yeah, no, I'm a part of it.
Yeah, because I know you're in the videos, but I'm like, I don't know if he's just being filmed or if he understands like what's going on here.
The main person who is killing it there is Kosh.
Yeah.
Kosh is shout out Kosh. Killing it. He's doing amazing there, and I don't want to take credit for anything that he's doing, but I'm also a part of it. So it's a very small team, and I'm learning. I'm learning and also inputting what the content should do. So like there's times I'm like, oh, we should do this, and we do it and stuff like that. So we always go back and forth. So when it was time for this, I kind of already knew the play.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, we did this before. This is easy. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
Some of my favorite content is just it's just in studio stuff that is happening during sessions, which like everyone stresses about, like, what type of content should I make? It's like, do what you're already doing and just turn the camera on. You know what I mean? And then maybe you have like a giant block of stuff where there's nothing that's that good, but if you hit one thing, that could be like an interesting little tidbit, like the chair squeak.
Oh, I know.
Clip.
Yo, the
had
comments
me dying, bro.
The comments were going crazy.
I love that post.
Yo, they're telling me to get a booth. They're telling me to get some WD-40. I'm like, bro,
that means it's working, though.
Yeah, I was so.
It's remarkable. You're able to make a remark.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That was what remarkable means.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. No, that's a good
Last
point.
time I checked,
I'm actually today years old finding out that's the meaning of remarkable.
When you think about it, it doesn't just mean great. Like,
exactly.
Able to be remarked on.
I thought it did. So were you on board with content, or were you?
So last year I dropped the album, bro. I didn't promote it. Nobody heard it. I was not on board last year.
Okay.
I was fresh off a major label. I'd taken 2 years to get off, feeling empowered as an independent artist. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm off the plantation. Look what I'm gonna do. Look what everybody's gonna love it. Man, I didn't know how to do none of that shit. So what I did this year, I was very keen on learning and figuring out how I was gonna do content. And so my contribution, I think Swanky's been great because he's taught me via Kosh, via Kennedy, and via his own channel how to do some of the content that I quite frankly don't enjoy, which is, it is the studio content. It is like the lo-fi. It is what TikTok eats up. But what I wanted to contribute was the AI generated content. So all the comic book stuff, we edit manually as well, but it's a lot of it, probably 90% of it is AI generated. And sometimes the photo realistic content that looks like fans are not actual fans. And so we generate those people too. So everything from like artistic stuff to things that look like TikTok or look like influencers down to the comic books, which I think that's our favorite.
The comics are fun.
The comic books, the comics are great. So that was I started it because of that Mid-Journey, and then I like got in a rabbit hole. I was like, Swank, we got to do this. We got to use it.
Whoa. So what platform are you using to generate the comic book stuff?
Runway. We've used a lot. I'd say Runway, Pika Labs at one point, Luma, Dream Machine, but mostly Runway these days, I'd say. And then we use Premiere or CapCut or both sometimes. There's some benefits to CapCut and benefits to Premiere.
For sure.
After Effects,
The whole thing.
So what do you input into the first few platforms you mentioned? Like, like just walk through
from a prompt engineer.
What's what's the process to get the type of clip that we see as the end result?
So it starts with like, say we had a style that we really enjoyed from, I don't know, we looked at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or some comic like that.
Sure.
You can go on Mid-Journey and put _describe, and it will like deconstruct what the elements of that style is. And then you take those words, so it'll, it might say 2D vector art, I'm not going to give, I don't even know what I would say for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but you take those words and then you input it, and maybe you say 2 guys in leather jackets, and then you use those words from the aesthetic to prompt, and you get a bunch of 4 still images. You don't really like them, so you vary them, and you keep varying until you get an image. And from there, you take that into Runway, and you animate that still image so it moves, but you prompt how it moves. So 2 leather guys, or 2 leather jacket wearing guys with berets sitting on a couch. Now they are holding a microphone and moving back and forth. And then you run that like 10 times. Take that, upscale it, which just means to make it crisper and more clear, because it's usually blurry because it's animating a still image. And then that's just one clip. You do that over and over again until you have a 30-second clip.
Yep.
Put the voiceover. We act out all the voices with our own voices. You throw a voice in 11 Labs, which is another program that can change your voice. Like I can sound like you, and you can sound like him if you want, or we can sound like women if we want. And so we do voiceovers, lip sync them to all the characters, and voila, we have like a 30-second piece. So it's a lot of work.
How much time goes into, let's say, a 30-second clip, would you say?
Bro.
It depends on the complexity.
Let's talk about just the most complex one you've done.
How about the Spotify? I forget what it's called, but with the little
the canvas.
Yeah, the canvas.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's
It's like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, that'll be in under an hour now. Like that's easy.
Okay.
Because it's like what, 8 seconds?
Yeah, 8 or something.
That's easy. But to make a 30-second clip, I've done that in like a day, but I've also taken like a week, or sometimes if you don't sit down at that computer and just go in, it can take you weeks.
Yeah.
It's also art too. So like it's subjective, and you can constantly be making it better and better infinitely, and you gotta just call it done at some point, right?
And there's also a moment where you work on it all night.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, you work on it all night, and you're like, this is perfect.
And then you wake up.
And then you wake up in the morning.
Oh no.
And that shit is ass.
Well, you send it to people and they don't respond. Isn't that the worst?
Oh my God.
When you send something and no one texts you back.
Left on red.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts.
Hurts.
But we do it because we love it.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. We've always wanted to be in the field of animation. We love anime and animation and comic books. So
love comic books.
This is our like novice entry point.
Yeah.
But I'm taking a AI animation course with Curious Refuge in December. So I'm learning how to animate more, I guess, better than I am now.
Yeah. So how's AI playing into the music at all?
We have used it to score some of the comic books. So like we'll take our original song, input it in Suno or Udio, and we'll remix it. So say we want it to be like Bitch I'm Handsome, for example. We took that, inputted it, and made it a dub reggae version of it. And then we put that under a clip that we had. So we're using it more to kind of remix and score.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Jidenna is like Captain AI, but just from your perspective,
Right.
are you open to it from like a music creator perspective? How do you feel about it when it comes to actually making the music?
That's a good question. I mean, if it's coming to make, I don't feel the type of way. I feel like people should use the resources that they can to make the music that they want to. I'm not a stickler when it comes to like, oh, you should only use this, you should only use that. You know what I mean? Just do what you want to do and make things that feel authentic to you. Like it kind of reminds me of how people talk about Splice. Yeah. Where they be like, I don't want to use Splice. I don't want to do it. Like, bro, just make the things that feel cool and do something that's authentic to you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care about how you make it. Just make it.
Yeah, I think my, I guess comparison would be like, oh, really? You don't like technology? Then why don't you get a live session player to play the drums?
Yeah, and record to tape and just go back.
The keys, the strings that are
Did you record that snare yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah, did you play it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I go immediately is like, let's not be on this holier than thou tip.
Well, there's also like the issue of ethics. So there's a bunch of visual artists not getting paid. There's a bunch of musicians not getting paid. I've generated things in Udio and I'm like, yo, that's my voice. It'll just pop up in the middle of, a prompting and you hear your voice, which is a trip.
That's crazy.
Like if you try to make an Afrobeat song right now, 9 times out of 10, Burna Boy's voice is going to be somewhere in there. That's crazy. So is he getting paid? Not yet. Will he? Yes. We had the same issue with samples. So early hip hop, like we loved it. Like we go back and listen, we're like, wow. But guess what? Them samples were not cleared. No. But it was a great genre, and now they're cleared. So I think we can sort through the ethics, and I believe in that. You kind of have to take a leap. Same thing with like people talk about it hurts the environment because each generation uses so much energy from the earth. I don't love it. But the first computers, you had to walk in a building to use it. It was a building.
Yeah.
That's the first computers. Now it's, in your pocket. So we can figure out how to make this a more efficient system, but we have to use it, and then we'll get better and smarter as humans.
By the way, what's the sample in Bitch I'm Handsome? There's like a background thing I know I've heard before. Isn't there?
No, I don't remember.
No samples in there?
I don't think.
Maybe the you talking about like the little sound effects or
Something in the background, like a higher toned. Yeah.
I don't know. You having all them little.
Yeah, I don't know if I sampled it.
Did you just fucking put them on blast,
just say
bro?
yes. Well, no, it's probably like a sample pack.
Maybe that's what
it's not. It's definitely not like sample
from
like
a song.
No. We don't. We stay away. Too much money has been taken away.
I feel that.
Yeah, they'll take it off.
50%.
I know. I was about to say the same thing.
Wow. For the hi-hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Let me take a moment to interrupt this episode and tell you about our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is easily the best DIY distributor on the marketplace. Let me tell you why. It's only $23 a year. That's less than $2 a month for you to upload unlimited music to all of your favorite streaming platforms on the planet. It's so easy that it takes me like 5 minutes per upload, and that's when I'm multitasking, dealing with my 2-year-old son. Hands down, my favorite part about DistroKid is how easy it is to add credits to an upload. I don't know what distributor you're using, but with DistroKid, it's super easy. You can put the artist, the producer, the songwriter. I'm pretty sure you can put like the junior associate engineer of a song. And me, I want to know who's on the record. And if you sign up using this link, you're going to get 30% off an already insanely low price. And you can finally start adding your collaborators because they are checking. They will notice when their name's there, and they will thank you for doing it. Let's get back to the episode. What do you think? Okay. How are you feeling specifically? Because like you mentioned obviously being in like the major label deal and then coming out of that and then now, launching this project. Like there's got to be some level of just like feeling rejuvenated and like excited to like just
now. Last year I was like, man, I missed the majors. At the end of the year I was like,
okay, so what did you miss?
Money.
That's fair.
Yeah, exposure. Like you release and people see it. It's like it felt more guaranteed that like you were gonna at least reach some people. It's not like you're gonna win, but you'll reach. But what I love now is the amount that I make per dollar. Like I feel like before it was like 40 cents per dollar. I mean, now it's much higher.
Double, probably. Right?
Oh yeah. It's easy. Like and we do a lot of work ourselves, so we're not hiring a bunch of people. I told them very early, like, labor fees are so expensive. So as much as we can do ourselves, and we do most of the work ourselves, alongside Jillian, who, Jillian Williams, she's amazing.
Shout out Jillian in the building.
One time.
She's an A&R god. Like, so many people would be lucky to have her. She's done so much work. Cree, Aaron, Mikhail, Zane. So we have a great team. But they know that we also put in a lot of work ourselves to eliminate costs. But I love controlling my life, commanding my destiny, controlling my time. Is the most valuable asset that humans have and life forces have. And I get to have it as an independent artist. If I was on major right now, it's like just nonstop running. Don't even know why I'm places. Money going out the door. You don't know why the label's spending money on different things. So I love that.
So now doing the kind of like independent thing, right? Like, do you think that there are some artists who are, really cut out for the major label system versus those that can do what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think that some are better on labels. I think that most of the major label artists could not be independent now. They've been pampered. I know the life. Like, they have no idea what it takes to be independent. I have so much appreciation for some of the. Actually, I was just with him recently, James Blake, who is independent now, and literally every group or company that we meet with, James has been there. They're like, I just saw James like a month before. So he's really running that track and trying to be a better independent artist, and I respect him. We had a few beers in LA a while back, and he was just saying how much he's so much happier and content now. And I think that's probably the thing that I feel is the greatest gift for me. I'm content. I had a lot of success, and I was not happy. And he knows, even being jaded last couple years. So I'm very happy to find contentment.
Yeah. James did the big like kind of direct to consumer, direct to fan model. He seems to be a big exactly. Yeah. He seems to be a big proponent of that.
Right.
How do y'all feel that's going to play into your business model, right? Because I know Kennedy seems to be pretty up on like the direct to fan engagement and business models. That's something y'all are going to adopt as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's even, there's another layer to it where we just want to connect with the people. We don't want to be too cool. We don't want to do the whole we want to really be with the people and really like give it to them. You know what I mean? Like give them the music.
Poke them.
That's the first thing I thought about when I said that.
I saw you freeze.
Poking
it's because I thought of the Facebook shit.
That's why. Exactly.
That's why.
I mean, that's the only thing you should think. I don't know why else you'd think of poking someone.
It's fair.
Yeah. Nah. So what does connecting with the people look like in practice, though? Right? Because I think that's like community building, engaging with the fans. These are all like very theoretical
nonprofit terms.
I mean,
nonprofit terms.
I mean, it's just shit that like a lot of people say, even like these music business gurus and shit, where it's like,
connect with the
connect with the fans. But like, what the fuck does it look like, right? Like, how are you doing it? Because I think that's another thing we're even trying to figure out how we can do a better job of that, right? Because I mean, it goes for podcasters too. Any person trying to build a brand, like you got to do that, right? But so what are y'all doing specifically, you think, to execute against that kind of high level strategy?
Swanky was a big proponent of the IG channel that you set up for us with the Bashmen to talk and DM and update fans. So there's some tools already built into things that we use.
Is that the broadcast?
Yeah, the broadcast channel. Yeah. Thank you. You can see I didn't set it up. But there are a few platforms right now that allow you to be even more engaged. They're escaping my mind because we haven't used them yet. You don't remember them either.
No,
right
that's
now. Well, we're gonna call the Russell after, and we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But on a lower level, it's what I've been experiencing is just actually talking to people,
like DMs.
Yeah, like if you're commenting, just comment back. Just talk to the people who appreciate you and like appreciate your work. It's the smallest things. And I respond to a lot of comments, and I'll be up for hours, and I'm just in it like, thank you. I appreciate that. And I really do mean that. And I really do want to interact with people because the support is amazing. how privileged it is that you get to put a song out and one person listen to it. Just one person.
That person has so many options of things to do.
Exactly. And that's what exactly what I was about to say. Think about it. Someone stopped listening to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
To listen to you.
Yeah.
That's someone stopped listening to Taylor Swift to listen to you.
This is why I'm happy I'm here, because he helps me. He reminds me of that.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking that. I've never felt, when the teacher's like, even if you change one life, it's enough.
Yeah.
You always thought it was bullshit.
Fucking bullshit, bro. I still feel that way, to be honest. Like, hell the fuck no. That's not what I was built for.
Yeah.
Reach one person. What kind of motherfucker am I? I'm here to reach billions. So I never felt that. I've always had the desire and ambition to reach billions, and I wasn't grateful enough. That's the reality. So being around Swanky has helped just ground me and be like, bro, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is a moment. People like it. Look at this. Look how last night we did an amazing show at El Malo, and Swanky had a great set for Channel Orange. Shout out to DJ Hourglass.
The GOAT.
So we were out there, and he's like, yo, do you want to see the clips? I usually don't. I'm that guy. Like, I don't want to engage. I don't want to be on social media. I have social anxiety on social media. It's just a sea of envy that I feel, and I'm like, it's too much. But he's been helping me really just get over those humps and those hurdles so I can connect, so I can appreciate now. Mm-hmm. So thank you, man.
It sounds like you guys do a great job of kind of balancing each other out, right?
Sure.
Like, where he might lack, you kind of pick up the slack and vice versa.
Yeah.
What are some things that y'all like have disagreed on throughout this process? Because I think it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, right?
Yeah,
especially when you're talking about like a creative business endeavor. I mean, we get into it. I mean,
some of our best conversations are arguments to the outside.
For sure. So like, what's an example of something y'all have kind of not seen eye to eye on? Obviously, I'm sure it's respectful, right? But just in general, what's something y'all have kind of disagreed on recently?
First off, you're trying to break us up, and I see it.
Well, we already broke up like 5 minutes into this.
Yeah, you're doing it twice. I don't know why are you doing this.
I just said that y'all balance each other out really well.
I think what's really interesting about our relationship is that anytime we disagree with something, we actually like talk through it. So like there's sometimes there's like it's a strategy thing, and what I do appreciate about you, because you said something nice about me, so now I'm gonna say something nice about you.
Thanks, sir.
Is that it never feels like there's like a hierarchy of some sort in our group. We just actually just talk it out, and he's very open to changing his mind. Even if you feel strongly about it, you're like, and I talk through the strategy. I'm like, but nah, I hear you, but let me tell you all these things, and I bring up all these examples. He's like this. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. What I appreciate about you is that you're not. I know I can come off strong sometimes, strong-willed. I'm a Taurus. I definitely have a bullhead, but it actually I don't think that I'm right. I just want you to argue that there is a right way.
You want to be convinced.
I want to be convinced. That's a better way of saying it. If I say we should go left, the winds are pushing west. The current is going west. It's the easiest way to get west. And you're like, no one's going east, so there'll be no traffic. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, and
that's kind of our relationship.
And then what the biggest thing is that we understand that our intention is to succeed.
That's key.
So regardless if we disagree on a strategy,
there's a North Star.
I don't want to see him fail. He doesn't want to see me fail.
Yeah, because there's also not a right answer.
Exactly.
It's also,
right.
If it was, y'all would have already got the course, bought the course, bought the book.
Everyone would be doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's also like, that's what we get into it. We're like, at the end of it, we're like, I don't actually fucking know what's right. This is just why, to your point, just explaining where you're coming from.
Right.
So that then we can be like, all right, you can have this one. That's fine.
Sure.
I'll get the next one maybe where like we might not be seeing on the exact same page.
I think one thing specifically, because I know you want the juice. You want it to be juicy.
Juice.
Yes, we need clicks.
I think recently it was just like we talked about speed of releases.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to do a Russ model and like early Russ where he's just like bombing, dropping. And I think you were like, let's give some space for the song and give enough content per song.
Right.
And I think you were right about that. So we gave enough space for the first single. Now we're releasing the second one. And I also realize this, and I think it's important. Sometimes you want to do with a group what you should just do alone. Maybe that's my 2025. I mean, maybe that's what I do with my song.
Yeah, Jidenna's dropping every week.
Jidenna's just dropping every week because he didn't drop enough for the last 9 years. Well, finally, Jesus. Yeah. Maybe we can hear more of him and hear why people like him. And for you, you're like, nah, man, space. So that's I think a huge lesson that people don't know when they get into group settings is, man, that's you. That's your idea. That's not for the group. Just go and do that, yourself, and you'll feel a lot better, you know what I mean, than like trying to force something that's not going to work with the group.
Yeah, for sure. That's fire. Well, Bashmen, we've entered a final segment of the podcast.
Shit.
My favorite segment.
Oh, no.
Starting.
I don't like this.
I'm sitting up.
Right now.
Like
it is going to demand the full attention. This is the Rapid Fire Rampage. Coming to you live. It's usually with one person, so I've kind of customized it to work with
that's very nice.
both of you gentlemen.
Nice.
It's a 3-part rampage. The first part is just some short answer questions. I'll indicate if it's for one of y'all, either of y'all, or both of y'all.
Okay.
Let's start with the short answer section.
I love the Archer sound bit, by the way.
You caught the first
Come
one to
on.
know that comes from Archer.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking student of the game.
Come on, I love me some Archer,
Thank you,
dog.
man.
Come
Such a
on.
good show, bro.
Hello.
No one's ever, I think,
class
recognized.
act.
Thank you for that. This first one is for either of y'all. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate Ben as an interviewer.
Wow, 11.
Let's realistically though.
Why not?
Well, it was on a scale of 1 to 10. That's the first reason.
Wrong.
All right, well, yeah, 11. 11
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, we're going to stop there.
11.
Yeah.
We're going to stop there. We're not going to go to Swanky's answer. He was looking at me
Let's
like,
keep it there.
that was kind of bullshit.
I was getting critical here. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
And he's like, I've studied Zane Lowe. This isn't on Apple Music.
I love that. This I'd love to hear an answer from both of y'all. What is something early on in your careers that clicked and then things really started moving? What was a moment that happened?
Oh, yeah.
You looking at me? Okay, cool. For me, what clicked was be memorable in how you dress and just have a signature style. Uniform, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rock a uniform, it'll cut through the hodgepodge nature of IG.
Huge.
I would say mine is building and not chasing.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Unpack that a little bit.
for a
please.
long time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so I remember, and I got this advice from actually Nana Kwebena, who is a fire producer and also is your executive producer. I see. You see, I wasn't gonna downplay it that time. Executive
friend.
produced Mad.
Was he on the birthright trip? Was he on the board as well?
He was on. He was actually, yeah, no. But is executive producer for many of your projects.
Yes.
And he was a mentor of mine, actually.
Yes.
And he was talking about this idea of building, not chasing. And I think for a lot of producers specifically, you try to always get the big placement. Like, oh, I need, and you hear it all the time as a producer, and you're a producer as well. So, hey, man, Rihanna needs a song. You need to send 10 songs, and they go to a folder that no one knows, and she's never going to hear it, and she's going to work with the people that she's been working with before. So imagine if you could just build that for yourself, and you like lock in with an artist, and you're like, yo, let's create something together. It's way more sustainable. And so, like, I prefer building, and that's what my whole career is about. If you see what I've done, it's with the same people.
Yeah.
I haven't actually done much more out of that. And, like, that's been, like, really helpful. And the moment that I stopped doing that, changed my whole
I like this rapid fire segment.
This is good.
I have another
this
one,
is
too,
nice.
if you want it. I have another one.
No, they're giving us time. I like the space.
I want to give you one more, and it's something that Mark B said to me. Fuck with people who fuck with you.
Fuck you mean you don't know DJ
You know what
Mark
I'm
B?
saying? Those are the two.
Yeah, but so on like the build not chase. How do you? I feel like it gives me anxiety to think like you're really hedging your bets here.
For sure.
Like, so what did you see in the people that you're committing?
Ben,
hold on.
can I get? It's literally my next question.
Oh, it is.
Can you just? That's my segment.
Shit.
Moving on.
See, same team here.
Same team.
This next question is for Swanky,
That's me.
and it's already written down. I'm not making this up. What do you look for in artists / what can artists be doing to find dope producers to really lock in with?
Yeah.
Okay, so
First
this
off, I want to say that Ben asked that question.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was very
The
unprofessional.
11 out of 10
my
interviewer.
God.
I mean, I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Wow. I don't know what your number is now.
not 11.
I think I try to find, anytime I work with people, I try to find interesting things that I would listen to and like, and just like, and it doesn't matter to me like their numbers or all those different things. Because even when I met Kennedy had 500 followers.
She wasn't. I mean, dude, even when we interviewed her, she had like one viral moment at that point, and like so she was, But when she had more than 500 followers.
But when she sang to me, I was like, "This is Amy Winehouse."
Yeah,
I love Amy Winehouse, and so it's like those little things where you can find interesting things in people, and then also I listen to people's stories, and I tell myself, can I be the mirror to them to convey the story the proper way? Because there's times that there's artists who are really dope, but I can't tell your story, and I know I can't, so I'm not gonna do that. Right. So it's like, can I tell your story, and can I convey it in a way that's beautiful and that people can, that's interesting and fun, and then also like I enjoy listening to you, and I enjoy like what you do.
So be yourself.
Really. Yeah, for sure.
It's not about the quality of the mix, or the numbers.
Not really. I don't care.
So what would you say Kennedy's story is that you're helping her tell right now?
I think it's just about healing for her, right? That's what all it is. It's a journey of healing and growing into the person that she wants to be. For a long time, she was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah,
and her confidence was down. If you the first session that I had with Kennedy, I don't want to get too personal because I want to protect her in that way.
Sure.
But it was very emotional, and it was very hard to get over the first hurdle of just recording, right? And so like I had to create that safe space that she can like open up and like really get the songs out. And now we built something that is always safe and it's always like a great environment to do it in. But it's just like those are the things that like I want to be very intentional about and like be like, okay, I think I can tell your story because I believe you. I believe you and I believe what you're saying. And that mattered to me.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. So good.
So you're definitely looking for authenticity too.
For sure. Like, I mean,
it's got to be oozing out almost.
Yeah, because and also I don't want to make songs that everyone else is making. It's boring.
True. Yeah.
I like different perspectives.
Yeah.
Well, this next one is for Jidenna. What is your best piece of advice for newer artists to kind of level up their music? Like, what are some problems you're seeing? How can they make the music better?
I think the goal of great artists, I can't speak to like good artists, I'm not really a fan, but great artists and are always on the search to create something that didn't exist before. So just ask not your friends, ask just haters, ask strangers, ask people on the internet, is this something new that has not existed before? And I think that's how you get great. It'll suck at first, but it'll be great ultimately.
You have some thick skin for it.
Heavy on the don't ask your friends part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never trust it.
Yeah.
Swanky and I will talk about it. I'm like, who'd you play it for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like they mean well with their non-sincere answers, but
it's not helpful.
It's not.
This next one's for either of y'all. Describe the typical order of operations for making a song. Are we doing lyrics? Are we doing beat? Are we starting from scratch? How are these songs coming about?
Usually it comes from moments. Like for like I'm just like, even for Bitch I'm Handsome, I'm walking in Chicago and I'm like, I'm gorgeous. Because I am. It's true.
Yeah.
You are.
And thank you. See,
Yep.
that's why he gets 11.
Exactly.
You see, this is why he gets 11.
Dude.
This is why he gets 11.
But you're slow. I always see how quick I was
He's
to
like,
agree.
you're damn right.
Yeah.
But it just comes from moments. Like you live life. I think to be a proper artist, and I'm saying proper in a dance hall form, is just, it's about living life. You have to live life and tell the stories. Like go outside, kiss the girl, smell the flowers.
But then, so that moment happened and that created an idea for a hook.
Yes.
Where to go from there? Now you have a hook. You go to the beat next?
Yes. So usually from if I'm writing the song, it's usually lyrics then beat. But also like I be hearing music in my head sometimes, so like the beat is kind of already in there, and I'm just it's already being fleshed out, and I'll be walking the street like, and then I make those noises, and then it kind of like slowly forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, so I produce as well. I didn't produce on this project, but I produced a lot of records, some of the records that people know me for. I was one of the hands on the wheel, especially right next to Nana. I think what we've done is we have a list of song concepts, just like a long ass list. I've sent you this multiple times of just song concepts and song titles. and then I just make beats and I throw the paint at the wall. So if the song concept is like two men on a couch, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I came up with.
It's right there.
Two men on a couch, right? And I just got it. I'll make a beat, and I'll actually make like 5 beats and just throw the phrase two men on a couch on a beat, and usually it sticks on one of them.
Yeah.
I actually want to stop you there because you are underselling.
I am?
Because you did produce on the project.
On this one?
Yes, you sure did. You produced on a lot of the songs.
I did.
Jidenna is a talented producer.
Has he heard the final album yet?
So I just want to catch him on the undersell.
What songs are
that
coming out?
He's a talented,
you're right.
He's a very talented producer, and he also was very influential on all the sonics on the project.
Yeah.
So
Damn, I did. I forgot.
yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
That fez is too tight, bro.
Can't beat the fez.
Can't beat the fez.
This next one is for both. The Bashmen can choose any one artist and any one producer, alive or dead, to do a collab album with. I think maybe we'll have you choose the producer and you choose the artist.
Go ahead, bro.
Producer, artist. That's a good question.
I know.
Alive or dead?
Huh?
Anybody.
Quincy's in the mix. Rest in peace, a legend.
You know, I was thinking about. Wow. Oh, okay. I know. Producer, Neptunes.
Ooh. Can we give him a group?
That's fine.
Okay.
Wow, Neptunes. Ooh, that's tough, man.
Who's the artist?
Does it have to mesh with the
I actually would prefer
Neptunes?
if it didn't.
Bob Marley.
Okay.
Bob Marley over the Neptunes? What would that be?
That's nasty.
The world might be a better place.
Yo, that'd be crazy.
That sounds like a good prompt for
ChatGPT.
Mid-Journey or whatever the fuck.
Yo, Bob Marley on the Neptunes?
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. This next one is for either of y'all. Who would win in a fight?
Jeez, that's tough. You're really trying to break us up for real.
Yeah, that was a
I'll say
legit attempt.
Swanky used to actually box.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I might give it to him.
I wouldn't put hands on him at all because I love him. Man.
I know.
Yeah.
Theoreticals, guys. Theoreticals.
But yes. I used to box.
But I'm him. I love it.
But I'm here. That's funny.
I love it.
Well,
Okay.
all he said was, I used to box.
Yeah.
That was his way of not
Yeah.
commenting.
And then I said he used to.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm him.
So
I'm him.
I'm him.
This last one, I need an answer from both of y'all. Last one with a short answer. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck. It's so agile. It's so beautiful.
Moves around.
Yeah.
Bumbleclap.
Part one.
Part one.
Part one. Wasn't too rapid, but these next parts will get a little more rapid. This is the this or that section. I'm going to give one of y'all 2 choices. You just have to pick one. I'm going to do a little back and forth here. We'll start with Mr. Swanky.
Yeah, just because sometimes those short answers need a little bit of,
Well, especially if you're here. You know,
I know, but
you love to add some
gotta get the
context.
juice, bro.
You're right. You're right. If the juice is flowing, I'm not going to stop the juice.
Don't stop the juice.
I could never. So here we go. Starting with drums or melodies,
Drums.
hooks or verses,
Hooks.
stock plugins or third party,
Third party.
morning session or night session,
Night session.
discover new artists or binge your favorites,
Binge.
meditate or skydive,
Skydive.
Ego by Kennedy Ryan or BIH by the Bashmen,
Motherfucker. BIH by the Bashmen.
You got to do it.
85 to Africa or the Chief,
Ooh, 85 to Africa.
cats with hats or dogs with shades,
Dogs with shades.
permanently type in all caps forever or permanently speak with autotune.
Ooh, permanently type with all caps.
Either way, he's like that annoying guy.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Bro, you were going so fast you couldn't even keep up with yourself.
I know.
It was the fastest part 2 ever.
I almost nailed it.
That was beautiful.
You were
killing it.
You
That
were
was
on a
good.
run, bro.
Yeah, that
There's no room for context.
I'm not going to lie. My anxiety raised a little bit. I was just like,
No, we've done 220 plus episodes.
Yeah.
That was the most intense of a
I
part 2
started
rapid
pinching
fire.
my left thigh.
No,
You're going to
seriously.
see it when you run it back.
I think I held my breath the whole time. I didn't breathe that whole time.
Well, the best part is that the last section is probably the most anxiety-ridden section of all. It is the word association. I'm going to go back and forth again. I'm just going to say one word, and y'all are going to give me the first word that you think of off the top of your heads. Out starting with Swanky.
sorry.
Your word is music.
Communication.
Music.
Language.
Bass.
Hard.
Microphone.
Sing.
Jamaica.
Where am I from?
Fire. Nigeria.
Lagos.
Politics. TikTok.
Wow.
Yep.
That works. Yeah, absolutely. Kush.
Orange juice.
Great mixtape. Rolex.
Watch me now.
Love.
Love.
Gen Z.
Millennial.
Goat.
Me.
Cryptocurrency.
Not Doge.
Cartoon.
Wolverine.
Lil.
Jidenna.
And this last one is for both of you. Stay.
Rude.
What a rampage. What a
This has
rampage.
been your favorite Bashmen.
That was hard.
Man, appreciate y'all coming on the podcast. Really excited to see where you guys can take this project together. So I'll be on the lookout for all the singles rolling out in the full-length project, which we can expect top of the year. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay, top of the year. Let's go. 2025, baby.
There it is.
2025.
One more time, podcast, The Bashmen. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit. Let's
All
go.
that shit.
Till next week, Henry, what are we doing?
Getting out of here.
Getting out of here.
Stay
Peace,
rude,
y'all.
bruv.
Stay rude.